All right, welcome to Another Beer with a Queer. We just finished the show, Beef O'Brady's. I'm here with my friend, Rick Stepinsky, who just killed it tonight. Well done.
You did well, my friend. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
We're in a Beef O'Brady's in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, with the finest of 60-plus-year-olds. So who wouldn't?
Sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out.
Yeah. So who wouldn't love a gay comic talking about black penis and a guy complaining about, what were you complaining about? Everything? Literally everything.
Everything that can come across a 53-year-old's life.
So they're resetting the room. You'll hear that in the background. So, fuck it. Audio. Let's try the beer. We're doing Fat Tire from New Belgium Brewery.
I want the Bucks out.
This is out of Colorado. Let's see how it is.
We should cheers first, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
You don't do that?
Cheers.
Fat Tire.
I don't let people on the show. It's about me.
It's a good beer.
It is a good beer. I remember when it was coming to Florida, it was a big deal, and I tried it. I was like,
"Where's it come from?"
Colorado. Yeah. It's good. It's a smooth beer. It's a little flat on the flavor, but it's not a bad beer. Which, if you watch the series,
You've had some bad ones.
Most of the beers I drink, this is my exact expression. I do this.
Now, do you normally bring the beer? Because
Yes.
I've seen you had cans, and they're weird beers.
Yeah.
This was from the bar.
This was from the bar. This is what we had available, so I tried to choose something that was not
So
Miller
I'm not
Lite.
important enough
Well, we're at a
for you to have
restaurant.
brought a beer ahead of time. I understand.
Two things. One, yes. Two, we're at a restaurant. They don't love us bringing beer in.
Oh, I see. I see.
When I go to people's, radio studios or interview A-list sober comics like Bobby Kelly, I bring a beer.
Nothing you're saying is making me feel better. Let's just go.
Wasn't even trying to. All right, good. All right, so now that's the beer part. We like it. It's a good beer.
It's a good beer.
It's a good beer.
I've had it before.
Yeah.
I was drinking Highlight
Okay.
before this.
So this is going to be a little bit flatter, a little more flavorful,
it is.
but
Yeah, it's a little.
Highlight's good.
Yeah.
We like Highlight.
Yeah.
Local too.
Always
Should have
drink
gone
local. Always buy local.
I'm over here getting a stupid Colorado beer. Stupid Colorado. I don't think anybody watches from Colorado.
When I travel with the family or for comedy, I will always choose a local.
Yeah, it's nice.
Always.
I always try the same.
I was in St. Augustine for New Year's Eve, and I got some from Ancient City Brewing, and just had one tonight before I came to the show.
Whenever we go up to see his family in South Carolina, I try South Carolina beer when I'm up there. And I tend to hate it. I thought we got one from South Carolina and then it was from Virginia. It was a fucking liar beer.
Oh.
But that's what beer does. It lies to you. It also tells you people are pretty.
Let me do this. Since we've had this imaginary feud
Yes,
on Facebook,
for years.
because we never worked together.
First time working together.
And every time you'd have a show, I'm like, oh, another show that I'm not on.
And
it just kind of started.
I would do the same.
It started the joke, and we perpetuated it. And when Dan asked me about doing this back in like December, I said, get Jeff Klein on there. And the other person I haven't worked with is Clark Brooks. I've met him.
Horrible person.
I understood.
Yeah.
But I want to check it off the list.
Yeah, no, he's the worst.
But he's a Cubs fan, as am I. So
Okay.
I wanted to work with him.
Yeah.
So it was funny that it would continue, and other people started getting involved.
They did.
And we had this imaginary feud, and it was nothing. It was just silly. But we continued it. But tonight it ended.
Tonight, first time getting to see you work.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Thank you.
Very great job on stage. Very good job.
I did a lot of crowd work.
Dealing with
and
the crowd.
Tonight was a lot of crowd work.
You did crowd work / crowd control, I would call it.
Yes.
Tonight needed more crowd control than work.
There was some crowd control needed, for sure. Now let me ask you this.
Yes. Ask anything.
Yes. When did you start?
Start comedy.
Yeah.
8 years ago.
8 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
8 years ago at a.
What did you do your first? Oh.
I was very small place. I was on vacation in Provincetown, Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
And friends of mine worked at a bar. I said I was thinking about going to an open mic when I got home to look at doing comedy. I was doing acting at the time. And then you've seen me in infomercials, I'm sure. And then they said, we got you 5 minutes on a show. And so I had to write 5 minutes. And that's how I started.
How'd it go?
I made lesbians laugh. It went amazing. There were 7 people in the audience. I made 4 lesbians laugh. I thought, well, I'm clearly the next big thing. But honestly, what I realized was, because I was acting at the time, and I liked acting, but I wasn't good at it, I realized I didn't have to play Right. I like it, but I'm not good at it. I realized the difference was I didn't have to be anybody else. I could be myself on stage.
Right.
I didn't have to remember lines.
Right.
This is regular stuff I complain about my life on stage. And so that made it easy. And I was like, oh, it's easy. Really, I got into it because it's easier.
So
I was like, acting's hard.
the first time went well.
First time went well enough that the person, Kristen Beckner, who was running the show, said to my friend, she went, oh, he's going to do this again.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, oh, he did well. He got laughs. He's going to do it again.
Well, here's my story.
And you're 35 years in?
Well,
because you look like a baby.
in high school,
I'm saying that because you complain a lot.
I graduated in 1987. There was a talent competition
Okay.
for Spirit Week, Homecoming Week, and I dressed in a half man, half woman outfit.
Victor Victoria.
Yes, that my mother and I sewed together. Dress, suit, half a hat, half a wig. I did the thing on stage. I danced to a song, Dancing
Right.
with Myself. I'm 17, right? And I won. I was
Obviously.
Tarpon Springs High School Spongers.
Yep. Okay.
I was Mr. Sponger that year.
So you're local?
I grew up in Tarpon Springs.
I grew up in Dunedin.
Okay, so yeah, we were.
I mean, a decade after you, but
Okay, easy about that. But so that was my first time on stage.
Okay.
And I knew I liked it.
and then you got bit by that bug
Right.
on.
So, you know Ron Bennington?
No.
He's on Sirius XM.
Okay.
He has a radio show, interviews all the best comedians in the business. He was local, and he had a comedy club in Clearwater,
Okay.
Ron Bennington's Comedy Scene, and I was like the house MC there.
Oh, nice.
I knew a girl that worked there. She brought me in, and they said, "We'll take anybody,
Right.
to host." So I hosted there for like Tommy Chong, Gilbert Gottfried,
Oh, nice.
and,
Yeah.
and Brian Regan, all these people, and then I went over to Coconuts and got my start there, doing the same thing, and then they quickly put me on the road.
Nice.
So
Back when they had road.
when they had a road, they used to have like 30 rooms.
I know it. Yeah.
And I worked for them endlessly,
Nice.
20, 30 weeks a year. But, so that was in 1991. But the first time I went up at a real comedy club was at Side Splitters.
Okay.
In 91, they had an open mic competition. And another kid did LaWanda from In Living Color.
Okay.
The Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx
yeah,
character.
Yeah.
I think that's her name. Just word for word, note for note.
Okay.
It was like a Goldschlager competition, and we tied.
Okay.
We don't know whatever happened to him, but here I am from 91 to 2023, still at it. I was on the road for years,
Okay.
but then you have kids,
Right.
and it's hard to be away, and then I got divorced for the first time, and now I work
When you want to.
when I want to. I have a great day job, I don't need the money.
Okay.
So the money, you couldn't live off this.
No.
So as much as
I mean, as much as nice as this was, and as
nice
good
as this
as
was,
this pays.
to get the money.
Yeah.
But I have a great day job. I've been at the same company for 32 years. I'm very stable.
Nice.
Not in my relationships apparently, but
You can't be stable everywhere.
can't be stable. Everywhere.
You got to choose.
So yeah, I still love it. I still love to get out. And Dan always jokes with me, Dan Gerlach, that I dread every show until I get here.
Right.
And then I'm in the room, and it's energy.
Well,
And Dan goes up, and you go up, and then they're ready, and then I can go up.
tonight you kind of had the, I guess I'll give them 40 minutes. Fine, I'll do the whole show. I'll do
Right,
the 40,
and then
45. And then at the end, you're like, I'm going to do one more. And then I'm going to do one more. And then you know what? You guys are having fun. I'm going to do one
That's
more.
what happened. Yeah,
And,
that's what happens. They're asking for more time, and you're thinking through your. Now, I this is a taboo in the industry. I don't know about you, but I have a notepad
Okay.
on stage because you saw how much crowd work I did.
Right.
I need to have a focus point to get back to the show
Okay.
because I probably did half my show tonight.
Yeah.
Crowd work,
Working with the crowd, yeah.
and they fucking loved it. Can we swear on this?
Yeah. Nobody watches it, so yeah.
Okay. But the crowd work to me, I like to weave it back in
Right.
to my stories. So people are married, people are dating, and then I tell a story, and then you bring them back in.
Right.
It's never mean, it's never malicious. I like to, at the end of the show, we've met the first 10 tables, and there's a narrative that hopefully one of the stories I can bring it back in as a callback, and that's the favorite thing I love to do.
Now let me ask you this, 35 years or so in the biz.
Right.
My curiosity is, I'm only 8 years in, I'm still new in comedy, but I'm curious because I know how I get labeled, and tonight's even an example of it. You're on stage, you talk about your kids, you talk about, your life, you talk about what you're going through and all of that. The interesting thing is I do the same. Essentially everything I'm talking about, real, happened in my life, all parts of my life. In doing my part, I also have to tell people I'm gay, because I've noticed when I started doing comedy, if I just mention boyfriend, mention husband, but I don't tell them I'm gay first, now there's a disconnect. I've lost their attention a little bit. I have to get it back. So I have to preface, get them in, get them paying attention. Now what I have found is, now when I do a set, it's not just a guy doing a set about his perspective in life, because I'm going to mention boyfriends and so on. Now it's a gay comic doing a gay set. Now mind you, I've leaned into that a bit, because if I know I'm going to be called, and I've been told before, Jeff, we'd love to book you, but we hear your set's too gay, too sexual, too this.
I was going to ask you that.
Nothing tonight is really sexual that I did.
I didn't see that at all.
But the thing is that once they hear that you're gay, any relationship joke I do is no longer a relationship joke. It's a gay joke, right? And to me, I'm like, but my relationship joke isn't any different than, you talking about your kids or you talking about your ex. But the fact is, all of a sudden now, all I'm doing is gay material. And I'm like, but that's a relationship material, that's this material, that's this material.
I actually really enjoyed the way you did it, because it was like, I'm gay, but I'm sure you played places where they're not. I do conservative rooms, yes. Right,
and
conservative
sometimes they
rooms
hit very well, yeah.
Would be the worst. And
will you grab toss those keys right there, back down? Hey,
you got it, man.
Great performance, man.
Thanks, man.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Fun, very fun.
We should have had a sign that said hot set, but that didn't work.
Fun fact, he did not love us, by the way. He left the room earlier, and Matt was out there, the two guys that were back here, and he goes, the two guys that left are not impressed with you guys. And I was like, well, they were getting drunk and talking in the back, so they weren't even paying much attention.
He was here at the end, I saw him.
He came back in. And first of all, he's a liar.
Yeah.
But
what I'm sure you've played places.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we're not having this.
I've done Newport Richie. Yeah.
Trump has told us you're a bad person.
Right. I thought they weren't allowed to say gay anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah. How can we let him in this? But I really enjoyed. I've seen your videos on Facebook, and but seeing you for the first time, I really enjoyed the way you, because it is all just relationships.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's man, woman, or woman, man.
The relationship jokes are relationship jokes.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you moved a little bit further into like home life,
right,
and talked about it, it'd be even more relatable.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing different that you're doing that, I've had a rough day at work and I don't want to do this, and
I have a fair amount of those,
what's on TV, it's all the same. It's all the same. And the people, I couldn't get a feel for it. I think they kind of went with us tonight.
Yeah, I thought they were okay.
But obviously the people that don't, fuck this people, because,
the liars that come back and lie to us.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed the way that it is self-deprecating a lot.
Yeah, it is. And that's probably a defense mechanism on self-deprecating before hate crimes happen. Now, in your 35 years, how many gay comics have you run into, worked with, and what's your impression of them? I know the comedy has changed over the years. Like your Mark Cantones and your aunts had to be your Mario Cantones. Your Mario Cantones, they had to be that, so that way I could be me type thing.
With a guy.
They had to screech so I could talk.
Yeah. I worked with a guy in the '90s. God, forgive me, I can't remember his name. Tony something, but. We did a tour of the Carolinas one time, and I was still just featuring.
Right.
But he was like a performance artist, So he would dress up as Pee Wee Herman
Okay.
and do a thing on stage, and he would come back as Liza Minnelli, all gay icons, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah, wow.
But we shared a condo together, and we went out to lunch together, and just fucking normal guys, just
Right.
talking comedy. But I've worked with some lesbian comedians, but maybe your experience is different because I know you've done some festivals.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I don't think it's represented enough.
Yeah,
At least here
no,
in Tampa Bay.
In Tampa Bay, I don't think it is. There's a few.
You might know more than I do, but there
Yeah.
should be more.
There's a few, but I think it's always curious about, is there a fear of getting up? Is there what's, because you never know what a crowd's going to do, right? You never know how a crowd's going to react. So, all right, well, we're going to cut it a little bit short, but
I think we done plenty.
yeah, great chat. Thank
Yeah.
you. We'll watch you. Cheers again.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is
The Tampa Bay imaginary feud is
Tampa
over.
Bay It's over.
It's over.
It's imaginaringly over. It's on. All right, listen to the latest Beer with the Queer. Thank you, Rick, very much. Thank you, Beefo Breaks.